and served as the head of the department in various other positions of importance. He has authored and co-authored more than 100 research papers in international journals and conferences of repute that has taken various projects sponsored from eminent bodies like UGC, AICTE, and MHRD. He's also a senior member of various bodies and editor to various journals. His research basically focuses on software engineering, artificial intelligence, and mobile ad hoc networks. A good number of students pursued PhD under Sir, and a few are still doing PhD under his wise supervision. It's a pleasure to have you, Sir, as one of the speakers to the workshop. I request Sir to bless our audience with your knowledge. Today, Sir will talk about the national education policy and how it will give a new horizon to the academia and industry. So, most welcome to Sir. Thanks for being the part of this workshop.
Thank you, Thank you, Dr. Handa. At the outset, I would like to convey my sincere thanks and gratitudes to the organizer of this 1 week AICTE sponsored induction or orientation program on machine learning, which is being conducted from today of the orientation program is on machine learning, but I am supposed to speak beyond the topic, a topic which is on National Education Policy 2020. Can I share my presentation?
Yes, sir. You can share.
Okay. Can you see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So I will be delivering this talk on National Education Policy 2020 in higher education perspective, because the National Education Policy is for all education, starting from the basic education up to higher education. But my talk will be specific to the features of National Education Policy, which are specifically designed for the higher education. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
I think
Yes, sir.
I am not able to share my presentation. It's not actually accepting.
So we are able to see your first slide, sir. So the National Education Policy 2020. So I'm able to see that.
Okay, but it is not proceeding forward. There is some problem.
Okay. Hello. It seems there are some glitches in connection, so we'll wait for another few minutes to join. Hello. So sorry for the inconvenience. So sir will be joining in another couple of minutes. So I'm just in touch with sir. So there is some issue with his system. So probably he might be restarting it. So in another few minutes he will be with us. So sorry for that. And accordingly we'll try to share the link as well as for the quiz. So So I've shared the link for today's quiz as well. So that has been placed in the chat box. And in the meanwhile, so we are connecting with sir. So there are some issues with the systems, and obviously we'll be just connecting in another few minutes. So but the link to the quiz that will be for today, so that I have shared, and I have requested for some permissions for some time. So that could be extended for today.
वीडियोस देखिए, वीडियोस सारे पॉइंट बना देखिए वीडियो नीचे है, नहीं नीचे ना हो, भूल गया मैं लोग।
Hello.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
am I audible now? Actually, I had lost my connection.
Yes, sir. You're audible now. Yeah.
Let me try to share the presentation again.
Sure, sir.
इतना स्लो हो गया अभी। Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Presentation is visible.
Yes, sir. This is visible. Yeah.
Okay. So it's fine if the presentation is visible. So I will be discussing on National Education Policy 2020 in the higher education perspective. The agenda of today's discussion would be that what are the problems of the current higher education system, then the key changes which are required for the modification, some of the guiding principles related with the changes which are required in the system, and then finally the features of NEP 2020. These features will be related to the higher education system. So they will be on quality universities and colleges, institutional restructuring and consolidation, holistic and multidisciplinary education, optimal learning environment and student support, then transforming the regulatory system of the higher education, effective governance and leadership, National Research Foundation, reimagining vocational education, internationalization of the education, faculty education, professional education, adult education, online and digital education technologies, promotion of Indian languages and culture, and finally the equity and inclusion. So these are the various features of NEP 2020 which have been incorporated into it related with the higher education system. So to begin with, first we see that what are the current problems of the higher education system. We see that the current higher education system is severely fragmented in the sense that the two kind of fragmentation is there, that we have got the institutions, colleges and universities which are belonging to many disciplines, and even single discipline colleges are also available, like College of Engineering, College of Technology, or College of Pharmacy. Similarly, the universities related with law or colleges with architecture. So this kind of fragmentation of the higher education system is existing. Along with that, there are large number of institutions belonging to various categories, like these are independent colleges, then there may be the deemed university.
So you're not audible, I think. Hello.
Sir, unmute yourself. Sir, please, sir, unmute yourself.
Hello, am I audible now?
So you're
Yes, sir.
So if we try to discuss various problems which are related with the higher education system, the first major problem is that we have got an education system which is highly fragmented in the sense that there are different type of institutions and universities which are available in India. These universities may be multidisciplinary universities. These may be universities which are belonging to a single stream like law university. There may be the colleges which belong to different category. These may be autonomous colleges or the simple colleges which are offering multiple streams, or the colleges which are offering only single streams. So like that, the fragmentation of the education system is there. Simultaneously, fragmentation is also with respect to that law university, or you can say the courses related with law are entirely different, and there is no flexibility with respect to that a law student can also study during his course the courses related with the engineering discipline. So multidisciplinary kind of attitude is not there, or the curriculum is not there. So this fragmentation is needed to be removed from the education system. Similarly, if we see the second problem, it is related with that whatever teaching learning process is going on in the universities and institutions, this is not based on the cognitive learning or improving the cognitive skills and improving the learning outcomes, but it is focusing on the marks which are acquired by the student, or it is based on the summative kind of learning that throughout the semester or throughout the year the student will be learning, and finally he will be giving examination, and on the basis of performance in examination the student will be evaluated and awarded certain grades. So this kind of learning is actually taking place in universities and institutions, while the actual focus should be on the cognitive skills and the learning outcomes, and continuous evaluation and learning process should proceed. The third thing is that there is a rigid separation of disciplines. Like I said earlier, that engineering discipline is completely different from the pharmacy. Pharmacy discipline is completely different from the architecture, and so on, so forth. So there is a rigid boundary between various disciplines which are existing in universities and colleges. So this rigid separation of the disciplines should actually not be there. A student should have the choice of studying proportionate courses belonging to multiple disciplines. Other problem is that we have got limited access of the facilities as well as various courses which are offered by the universities and institutions, especially to SED people, that is those people who are belonging to socio-economically disadvantaged group, and there we are not able to provide appropriate access of the facilities and the courses. Even if the courses are available, then the local people will prefer to learn those courses in their local languages, which the universities and colleges are not offering. Also, there is lesser flexibility in terms of the autonomy which is given to the teachers or the institutions. So this is also one of the problem, because we have got the rigid curriculum which is prescribed by the universities or the institutions, and the teacher has not got the capacity, or you can say has not got authority of changing the pedagogical structure or the curriculum structure according to his or her wish. Similarly, the institutions are also running under a framework, and framework is not giving the institutional autonomy also, in which the institution can frame its own curriculum, course curriculum, as well as it can decide the pedagogical structure. There are inadequate mechanisms for merit-based career management, as well as the progression of the faculty and institution leaders. You see that in the current system, the career advancement opportunities which are given to the faculty members, they are not based on the merit. They are not based on the true merit, and similar is the case with the appointment of the institution leaders. So institutional leaders are appointed majorly on the basis of not their academic and research qualities, but on some other factors. So true merit-based promotion as well as the appointment process should be there. There is lesser emphasis on the research in most of the universities and colleges, and there is also a lack of competitive peer-reviewed research funding across the discipline. So this emphasis on the research must be improved, and more funding has to be provided by various funding agencies as well as the government regulatory authorities. The suboptimal governance and leadership of the higher education institutions, the governance and leadership of the higher education institutions is not proper. So it has to be also revised and it has to be upgraded. An effective regulatory system. In current scenario, we can see that there are many regulatory bodies which are available. You can see that there is UGC, University Grant Commission, and then depending on the discipline of the education or depending on stream of the education, we have got many other regulatory bodies also available. Like we have got AICTE for engineering and technology. We have got Architecture Council for the architecture education. Similarly, for PCI, that is Pharmacy Council of India for the pharmacy, and other regulatory bodies. So many regulatory bodies are existing which are prescribing their statutory norms for the regulation of the education system along with the University Grant Commission. So there is conflict of interest, and as a result, the universities and institutions are not able to flourish properly. Also, the affiliating universities are very large in sizes. You can see that the universities are there which are affiliating around 800, 900 colleges, and all these colleges cannot be effectively managed by the universities. So it is required that these affiliating colleges should either be the part of the universities so that they can enforce, university can enforce proper control on them, or these affiliating colleges should be given the status of the autonomous college or independent universities. So that is also needed. It is one of the very worst drawback associated with the education system. So it has to be also removed. If we see that what are the kind of changes which are required in the current education system, a sort of complete overhaul of the higher education system will be required, and the changes, key changes which will be required to be performed will be on the direction of the drawbacks which we have already discussed. So you can see that moving towards large multidisciplinary universities and colleges with at least one in or near every district. So the concept of affiliating universities has to be dropped, and what has to be promoted is that the concept of large multidisciplinary universities must be there. And just to provide appropriate access, there should be at least one university located in a particular district or nearby the district, so that the appropriate access can be provided to the stakeholders or the students. More HEIs across India that offer medium of instruction or programs in local or Indian languages. So this will also increase the access of the stakeholders for the education purpose if the education is provided in multiple languages, including the
Again, sir, please unmute.
आनंद जी प्लीज आप देख लीजिए ये बार बार अपने आप से कैसे म्यूट हो जा रहा है. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
It is getting muted very frequently, automatically. I don't know how.
Yeah, so there is some issue, like I do not know what's happening actually.
So to provide more appropriate access to the stakeholders, it is also a fundamental principle that the education must be provided in the local or the regional languages. So it is a responsibility of the universities to provide education in multiple languages, preferably the language of that particular region in which the university is located. There should be more multidisciplinary undergraduate education, because the flexibility must be provided to the students, that they should have the choice of selecting the discipline as well as the courses belonging to the multiple decision. It should not be the case that if a student is studying in engineering, so he cannot select a course from the other disciplines like law, or from pharmacy or any other stream. So students should be given flexibility of selecting the courses of his or her choice, so that he may be at least conversant with those courses which, although do not belong to the particular stream in which the student is studying, but if he wish to adopt those skills, in that case, he should be given the opportunity for it. Full-fledged faculty and institutional autonomy should be provided. This we have already discussed. So these are the key changes. Revamping of the curriculum, pedagogy, assessment procedure, as well as the student support is supposed to be enhanced to give the good experience to the students. Reaffirming the integrity of the faculty and institutional leadership positions through merit-based appointments and career progression-based teaching, research, and service. So all these are the key changes which are required. Then National Research Foundation should be established for the promotion of the research activities in the universities and institutions. Governance of higher education institutions should be provided by high qualified independent boards having academic and administrative autonomy. So there should not be undesired interference of the government bodies or the statutory bodies. The independence or the autonomy should be provided to the boards who are responsible for governing the higher education institutions. Light but tight regulation by a single regulator for higher education. In the current system, we see that there are many regulators who are regulating various activities of the institutions. So it should be, it is suggested that there should be only one regulation, and regulation should be properly enforced, so that the institutions can actually improve their performance from time to time. Increased access, equity, and inclusion through measures like greater opportunities for outstanding public education, scholarships for the universities for disadvantaged and unprivileged students, online education and open distance learning, and infrastructure and learning material accessible to learners with disabilities. So equity and access, proper access must be provided for all kind of facilities, and equity and inclusion should be taken care of, that everybody should have equal opportunity of accessing the facilities. Then we come to the fundamental guiding principles beyond which the NEP has been developed: recognizing, identifying, and fostering the unique capabilities of each student. So education which has to be provided to the student, it should be based on the capabilities or the skills in which each and every individual student is actually interested. So pedagogical structure should be selected in such a way that each and every student is able to inculcate his or her skills. So teachers must be sensitized for adopting such a pedagogy which will be giving the holistic development of the students, both in academic matters as well as the non-academic spheres. The flexibility to choose their learning trajectories and programs according to their talents and interests. The curriculum should have the flexibility of giving an appropriate choice to the students for deciding that what kind of streams or what kind of trajectories they wish to follow in their education. There should not be hard separation of the streams, like arts is not completely different from the science. So there should not be hard boundary between the two. Similarly, the curricular and extracurricular activities should also be not having the sharp boundary with the academic activities. Multidisciplinary and holistic education has to be provided, in which the various courses in appropriate proportion must be taught to the students as per their choice, so that their holistic development will be there. Emphasis should be on the conceptual understanding or cognitive skills rather than rote learning and learning for the exams. We see that the current education system is that you have to study throughout the semester or throughout the year, and then at the end of the semester or year, a student has to appear in examination, and based on the scores which are obtained by the student in the examination, he will be awarded the grades. And the study material or the kind of education which is being provided to the students, it is primarily based on the rote learning. Rote learning means that they will be just memorizing the things. They will not be having analytical skills or the problem solving skills to be taught to them. So in the current system, this drawback can be removed by having the provision of cognitive skills improvement in the national education policy. Creativity and critical thinking to encourage logical decision making and innovation. This is again related with the cognitive skills, that the emphasis should be given on the cognitive skill improvement so that the student can do proper reasoning. He may adopt proper approach of problem solving, thinking critically, making innovations and improving his or her creativity. Ethics and human and constitutional values should also be incorporated into the curriculum, so that ethical behavior of the student is also getting improved. Promoting multilingualism and the power of language in teaching and learning, because it is believed that a student can learn more precisely, more efficiently if he or she is taught in the regional language which he understands properly. So the concept of multilingual education must be provided by the universities so that better understanding can be given to the student. And the life skills such as communication, cooperation, teamwork, and resilience, these should be also promoted through incorporation of appropriate courses in the course curriculum. Focus should be provided on regular formative assessment rather than the summative assessment which is existing today. Summative assessment is in which the examination is taken at the end of the semester or end of the year, whereas formative assessment is in which the continuous evaluation or assessment is taking place through various kind of activities, whether these are quizzes or these are simple viva voce examination, or it is just by punctuality, sincerity, or just by checking that what are the analytical abilities which the student is depicting on day-to-day basis. So this kind of formative assessment must be promoted in education. Extensive use of information and communication technology has to be made. So ICT equipment have to be installed in the classrooms, and as far as possible, maximum or optimal use of these ICT equipment along with various other facilities which are dependent on the latest technology have to be used by the faculty members, so that a blended approach will be actually adopted for give proper education to the students. Respect for diversity and the local context in all curriculum, pedagogy, and policy. This is again, you can say some sort of repetition with respect to that the instructions, delivery, pedagogical structure, all these should be based on the multiple languages, and the regional language must be preferred. Full equity and inclusion as the cornerstone of all educational decisions. Educational decisions must be taken with a view that everybody must be considered at par, and access of facilities and functionalities must be ensured that appropriate access is being provided to each and every individual. Synergy in curriculum across all levels of education. So whether it is primary education or it is secondary education or higher education, some sort of coherence or cohesive nature must be provided in education system at all levels, so that basic student who is studying at the basic level, he will be selecting the appropriate stream at the secondary level or the junior level, and then accordingly the trend will be followed if the curriculum has been designed in such a way that there is a complete synergy between the different between the curriculum available at the different levels of the education. Teachers and faculty as the heart of the learning process. This is very, very important, that education system, complete education system is primarily dependent on that how the teachers or the faculty members are actually teaching. What kind of teaching learning environment is going to be provided by the faculty members. So greater emphasis must be given on the faculty members because they are heart of the teaching learning process. The tight but light framework, regulatory framework has to be provided. I already discussed that in the present scenario, we have got many regulatory bodies with us, or many regulatory bodies associated with the education system. And these regulatory bodies are specific to a particular stream. So it is desired that there should be only one regulatory body which should be prescribing the statutory norms which have to be followed by all the institutions, irrespective of that what type of education they are providing. Outstanding research as a co-requisite for outstanding education and development. So enough research opportunities have to be provided to the educational institutions so that they can do the proper research as well as the innovation activities. Continuous review of progress based on sustained research and regular assessment by educational expert. So monitoring of the research activities has to be done by the appropriate body so that the progress must be reported to the appropriate body. A rootedness and pride in India and its rich, diverse culture, knowledge system, and traditions. These kind of traditions or culture should also be promoted in education system. Education is a public service. Access to quality education must be considered a basic right of every child. So everybody should get the opportunity of being educated. So this concept must be followed for making formulation of the national education policy. Substantial investment must be made for vibrant public education system as well as encouragement and facilitation of true philanthropic private and community participation. It is not the case that only government institutions have to be promoted, but encouragement and facilitation should also be provided to those private organizations or private institutions who are interested in working on no profit, no loss basis, or those institutions who are interested in doing the public service. Even community participation should also be invited so that everybody will be feeling associated with the educational institutions. Various NGOs which are working in some specific areas, they should also be allowed to be part of the institutions directly or indirectly, giving some sort of assistance in the education system. Now we come to that, what are the features which have been provided? These were the fundamental things on the basis of which it was expected that the national education policy should be formulated. Now we'll see actual features of the national education policy which have been provided into the NEP 2020. So various features are listed over here. You can see the quality universities and colleges, institutional restructuring and consolidation. All the features have been listed over here. We will go through with some of these features, important features, one by one, that what kind of facilities have been provided in the National Education Policy 2020. So first is the quality universities and colleges. So NEP 2020 focuses on quality of the universities and colleges which will be available in our country. So we see that quality higher education must aim to develop good, thoughtful, well-rounded and creative individuals. Focus should be that whatever product we are creating through higher education, these products should be versatile in nature. They should have holistic development. They should be all-rounded persons. They should be creative individuals, and thought-provoking ideas must be present into them. Quality higher education must enable personal accomplishment and enlightenment, constructive public engagement, and productive contribution to the society. So education should be such that it should be helpful to the society, and it should have the involvement of the public also, or the involvement of the community also in imparting the education directly or indirectly. So this can be achieved by providing proper restructuring of the institutions which are already existing in our country. Like you can see here that what kind of a spectrum has been expected from the expected by the National Education Policy for restructuring of the existing educational institutions. So transforming higher education institutions into large multidisciplinary universities, colleges, and HEI clusters. So whatever fragmentation is existing today in the higher education, that fragmentation has to be removed. We discussed that the present problem of the higher education system is that we have got a very vast fragmentation available with us. Fragmentation with respect to various categories of institutions as well as the various categories of courses. So a harmony has to be maintained, and lesser number of category of institutions as well as the lesser number of individual courses have to be there according to the National Education Policy. So this requires a conceptual perception, understanding of higher education institution. So a broader definition of that what actually a higher education institution is has to be provided. So you can see that as per NEP, what is an university? It says that a university So university will be basically multidisciplinary. It should not be unitary university like it is law university or it is architecture university or it is engineering university or it is technical university. So multidisciplinary university concept must be there because it is a multidisciplinary institution of higher learning. Every university is supposed to be a multidisciplinary institution of higher learning. Accordingly, it should run various streams under its purview. An university will thus allow a spectrum of institutions like research intensive university or the teaching intensive university. So there will be basically two types of universities which will be available. Number one, research intensive university, and number two, the teaching intensive university. The teaching intensive universities prime focus will be on the teaching of the various courses or the teaching related to various streams, whereas the emphasis of the research intensive universities will be that their prime focus will be on doing research. Along with, they will be involved in to some extent with the teaching work also. Then there will be an autonomous degree granting college, which will be a large multidisciplinary institution that primarily grants UG degrees. So autonomous degree granting institutions will be there, which will be again in multidisciplinary in nature, and whatever present institutions are existing, they will be on the basis of accreditation process or the autonomy process will be supposed to be merged into either or they will be emerging either as the autonomous college or the multidisciplinary university. So there will be only two types of colleges, one multidisciplinary university and another the autonomous college. So all the colleges or universities which are existing in present scenario, with passage of time by 2035, they are supposed to either converge as a or emerge as a multidisciplinary university, or they should become the degree granting college. So affiliating college will be converted into the constituent college so that they will be part of the multidisciplinary university, and or the affiliating colleges will be converted into the autonomous colleges. And this conversion process will be achieved through the graded autonomy and accreditation. So accreditation and autonomy will be done in a phased manner, and with passage of time, this phase-wise accreditation and autonomy will be established and the institutions will be converted or will be emerging in either of the two categories, that is either as autonomous college or the multidisciplinary universities. College will be encouraged, mentored, supported, and incentivized to gradually attain the minimum benchmark required for each level of accreditation. So, as I said that through the graded autonomy and accreditation, the institutions will be transformed into either autonomous college or the affiliate or the multidisciplinary university. So, enough support will be provided by the regulatory bodies so that these colleges will be ultimately transformed into either of the two categories. Over a period of time, every college would develop into either an autonomous college or as the constituent college of a university, or you can say as an independent university. With appropriate accreditation, Autonomous college could involve into research intensive or the teaching intensive university, and affiliating college will be evolving as the university or the autonomous college. HEIs will have other crucial responsibilities which they will discharge through appropriate resourcing, incentives, and structures. So besides teaching and research, they will be also involved in community activities for which the support will be provided by the regulatory bodies. These includes supporting other higher education institutions in their development, community engagement and surveys, contribution to various field of practice or faculty development and support to school education. So these kind of activities will be supported by proper funding to be provided by the regulatory authorities. HEIs will firstly plan to become multidisciplinary by 2030 and then gradually increase student strength to desired level by 2040. So by 2030, every higher education institution is supposed to either evolve as a multidisciplinary university or as an autonomous college. Once they have evolved as multidisciplinary university or the autonomous college, then by 2040 they will be in a position to increase their intake to appropriate level. There shall be at least one large multidisciplinary higher education institution in or nearby every district by 2030. It is projected by the NEP 2020 that by the year 2030, almost every district will be having one of the higher education institution available in it. The aim is to increase the gross enrollment ratio, GER, from present that is in 2018, the gross enrollment ratio was seen to be as 26.3, and the target is that by 2035, this should reach to around 50%. HEI will have the option to run online distance learning programs as well as the online programs, provided they are accredited to do so. So proper approval or accreditation will be granted for running online programs as well as the online distance learning programs. So institutions, whether they belong to multidisciplinary university or they belong to autonomous college, they will be provided proper accreditation or proper approval for running the ODL programs or the online programs. ODL diploma or degree programs will be of standards and quality equivalent to the on-campus program. As of now, if we see that generally the online distance learning programs are regarded to be as third graded programs. But the system will be established in which online distance learning programs as well as online programs will be considered at par with the regular programs. So efforts are being made so that online distance learning programs and online programs may be considered at par with the regular in-campus programs. Top institutions accredited for online distance learning will be encouraged and supported to develop high quality online courses. It is obvious that digital courses must be available if the universities or colleges are interested in running the online online distance learning programs. So emphasis will be on promotion of the digitized content of the syllabus. So various courses will be digitized and their digital content as well as the presentations will be prepared by the respective universities so that effective online distance learning can be provided. Such quality online courses will be suitably integrated into curricula of HEIs and blended mode will be preferred. See, if we prefer online mode and we consider the online programs at par with the regular campus program, then equal weightage can be given and credit transfer can be there, that whether you are doing any program under online mode or in the regular mode. So even the regular curriculum of the regular courses can be designed in such a way that some of the courses will be under in-campus program and
Sir, again, I think so you're not audible.
once again it was muted.
Yes, sir. Now
Okay.
this is okay.
So by the year 2020, 30, sorry, the single stream HEIs will be phased out. Through the attainment of suitable accreditation, HEIs will gradually move towards full autonomy, academic and administrative autonomy. The autonomy of public institutions will be backed by adequate public financial support and stability. Private institutions will also be promoted, subjected to that they are they are having public spirited commitment to high quality education. The new regulatory system envisioned by this policy will foster this overall culture of empowerment and autonomy to innovate. Existing affiliating universities will be responsible for mentoring their affiliated colleges so that they can develop their capabilities and achieve minimum benchmarks required to become an autonomous college. So these affiliating universities which are having large number of affiliated colleges with them, they will be promoting their colleges so that they become autonomous college by the year 2030. The overall HE sector will aim to be integrated HE system, including professional, vocational education. So presently we see that the higher education system is completely fragmented. Normal higher education system, engineering higher education, or pharmaceutical higher education, or higher education related with other stream, it is completely fragmented. So a kind of system has to be developed, ecosystem has to be developed, which will be in a integrated manner. Even it will be integrating the vocational courses also. This policy will be equally applicable to all HEIs across all current streams, which would eventually merge into one coherent HE ecosystem. So simple one HE ecosystem will be developed, and this ecosystem will be having all the kind of education integrated in one framework. The present complex nomenclature of HEIs in the country, such as deemed to be university, affiliating technical university, unitary university, all these will be replaced by only two kind of colleges. One, the multidisciplinary university, and another, the autonomous college. Now we come to holistic and multidisciplinary education. You can see here the traditional and holistic multidisciplinary learning from universities such as Takshila and Nalanda, combining subjects across field. If you just remember our historical background, the universities like Takshila and Nalanda, they used to impart multidisciplinary education. The person who was studying, persons who were studying there, they were not specialists in economics, but they were also specialists in various other fields. So that kind of multidisciplinary education need to be provided today also. So accordingly, the universities are being transformed into multidisciplinary universities. Aim is to develop full-rounded, well-rounded individuals that possess critical 21st century capacities. So if within one institution, all kind of disciplines are available, so every individual will get an opportunity to avail the different courses belonging to multiple streams, and a well-rounded capacity will be inculcated into the students. Imaginative and flexible curriculum structure has to be provided. This will enable creative combinations of disciplines for study with offer of multiple entry and exit points. That means there should not be the rigid boundaries. Like currently we have got in our engineering system, we have got 4-year degree. In higher education, we have got 3-year degree. So there should be the provision of multiple entry and multiple exit. That may be that after 1 year, you are providing some sort of certification to the students. And if he wishes to exit after 1 year, then with that certification, he will be happy. Maybe that after completion of 2 years of education, you are providing a diploma to the candidate. After 3 years, you are providing the degree. After 4th year, you can say that degree with research. And after 5 years, you can say that PG degree may also be provided if the program is of integrated nature. So this kind of flexibility must be brought into the curriculum, or it has been prescribed into the NEP, that the courses should be designed in such a way, or the program should be designed in such a way that they should have the multiple entry and multiple exit option available into it. Flexibility in curriculum and engaging course options will be on offer to students in addition to rigorous specialization in subjects. So in addition to the rigorous specialization in the particular branch or the particular stream, more number of courses should also be based on the choice of the students, because the choice of the student is very, very important, since they wish to take those students or wish to improve the corresponding skills in them. Increased faculty and institutional autonomy in setting the curricula. So faculty will be free to decide that what should be the pedagogical structure for the learning of the students and what type of curriculum has to be prescribed. And institution should have both the kind of autonomy, that is academic as well as the administrative autonomy. Credit transfer facility will also be available for the degree programs, that if you have pursued some of the programs and acquired some of the credits in one university, and then you are moving to another university, in that case, those credits will be transferred to the second university from where you will be performing, you are doing any course. So a kind of academic credit bank will be set up, and this academic credit bank will be having the credits deposited into it, and whenever you are taking new admission in some other university, from that bank, the credits can be transferred to the new university for the new course. Flexible and innovative curricula shall include credit-based courses and projects in various areas. Incorporation of value-based education will include the development of human values in the students, nothing to explain. Setting up model public universities called MERUs at par with IITs and IIMs will be there, that is multidisciplinary education and research universities. These MERUs kind of multidisciplinary universities will be developed, which will be at par with IITs and IIMs. Opportunities for internship with the local industry, business, artists, craft persons, etc., and research internship with faculty and researchers for the improved employability. You can see that here the community involvement will be there. If internship is promoted, the internship may not be necessarily with the industry. It may be with the local small industries or MSMEs, the persons who will be involved with the different kind of business, or they will be performing different kind of tasks. The internship can be done by the students with them also. The structure and length of the degree program shall be adjusted accordingly. Like you can see that the UG degree will be of either 3 or 4 year duration with multiple exit options within this period with appropriate certification. As I said that after 2 years, maybe the diploma is given. After 3 years, the degree is granted. After 4 years, degree with research is granted. 5 years, the PG degree may be granted. So this kind of structure has to be inculcated. The 4-year multidisciplinary bachelor program, however, shall be preferred option since it allows to experience holistic and multidisciplinary. So 4-year multidisciplinary program will be the preferred one because it will be having large number of courses into it, and these courses will be belonging to the multidisciplines, and the degree will be awarded accordingly. Maybe that the concept of major and minor degree can also be there. So major degree is, let us say, in computer science, and minor degree is in artificial intelligence, or minor degree is in IoT. So those specific courses have to be completed by the student, so to get the major degree as well as the minor degree. Minor degree may belong to a particular specialization in addition to the specialization in which the major degree is preferred. The 4-year program may also lead to a degree with research. As I said that if the 4th year is devoted to intensive research activities, including the development of a research project, in that case, after completion of 4 years, the degree with research can be granted. Maybe the degree that is BTech in computer science with research, if the final year or the 4th year has been completely devoted to the intensive research activities along with the development of a research project. The flexibility to offer the different designs of the master programs. Master programs may be of 2 years. You see that the first option is that a 2-year program which second year devoted entirely to research for those who have completed 3-year bachelor program. So those who have completed 3-year bachelor program, for them, the master program will be of 2 years. And out of these 2 years, the last year will be devoted for the research activities. But for a 4-year bachelor program with research, the master degree may be only of 1 year. And for integrated program, the total degree, which will be including both bachelor as well as master degree, it can be provided. It will be a 5-year program in which the integrated degree of both bachelor as well as the master will be given to the student. For PhD, you see that it will not require any, it will require the basic qualification as master degree or the bachelor degree by research. So there is no need of the MPhil program. So MPhil program will be discontinued. Only master degree or the bachelor degree with research will be the essential qualification for pursuing the PhD degree. Focus on research and innovation by setting up startup incubation centers or technology development centers or industry academic linkages or interdisciplinary research. So these kind of facilities must be created by the universities with the assistance of the regulatory bodies. Due to epidemics and pandemics, HEIs will take lead to conduct research in various areas. So cross-discipline research has to be promoted because we see that today we have the corona pandemic. In future, maybe different type of epidemics or pandemics. So it will be preferable to conduct the multidisciplinary research in various areas, maybe that infectious diseases.
So please unmute yourself.
It was again muted. So optimal learning environment and support for a student. So curriculum, pedagogy, continuous assessment, and student support are the cornerstones for quality learning. So these must be focused in the NEP. To promote creativity, institutions and faculty will have the autonomy to innovate the curriculum, pedagogy, and the assessment. CBCS will be revised to give more flexibility towards the innovation. HEIs shall follow a criteria-based grading system that assess student achievement on the learning goals. So nothing to discuss here. These are all obvious things. So I just say that the institution will develop a institutional development plan, which will be focusing on that how optimal resource utilization and support can be provided to the students. Then come to the regulatory system. You see that the regulatory system will be basically having only one regulator, and this regulator will be called as the Higher Education Commission of India, HESI. So Higher Education Commission of India will be one regulatory body which will be regulating the entire education system. And it will be having 4 verticals to support 4 kind of activities: general activities, funding related activities, accreditation activities, and this higher education regulatory activities. So these 4 verticals will be there. The first vertical will be National Higher Education Regulatory Council, NHERC. NHERC will be looking after all the regulatory work under the ambit of Higher Education Commission of India. The second regulatory council will be the National Accreditation Council. It will be promoting or facilitating for acquiring the accreditation by all the institutions. Then third will be Higher Education Grants Council. This council will be responsible for providing appropriate grant to the various institutions or providing funding to the institutions. And the fourth and the last vertical of the Higher Education Council of India will be the General Education Council, that is GEC. This will frame expected learning outcomes and graduate attributes for higher education programs. So this will be the structuring of the regulatory body, that there will be only one body, regulatory body, and it will be having 4 pillars or 4 councils. These 4 councils will be regulating appropriate area, or they will be monitoring the appropriate area of their ambit. Then this National Higher Education Qualification Framework will be integrated with National Skill Qualification Framework, so that the vocational education can be also integrated with the regular education. All the councils which are existing today, these will be acting as professional standard setting bodies. So they will keep on working independent way, and they will be given the power of only prescribing some of the standards related with the education. Then effective governance and leadership, the self-governance and outstanding merit-based appointments of institutional leaders will be promoted. This system will be ensured through a suitable system of graded accreditation and graded autonomy in a phased manner over a period of 15 years. So again, by the year 2035, it is expected that the concept of self-governance and better institution leaders will be incorporated. Because today we see that anybody can be an institution leader. Even a shopkeeper can open an engineering college and he will be governing that engineering college. This kind of culture will be demotivated and only eligible persons will be under the governing body of the institution. So BOG shall be established consisting of a group of highly qualified, competent and dedicated individuals. And the BOG will be empowered to govern the institutions free of any external interference, and BOG will itself make all the appointments, including the appointment of the head of institution. So this way you can see that it will be a self-governance in which the complete freedom has been given to the institution through its BOG. Even appointments will also be done by the BOG only. Then National Research Foundation to promote the research work. One foundation will be established. It will be called as National Research Foundation, and its activities will be that it will be seeding, growing, facilitating, as well as mentoring the research work of the higher educational institutions. So how the seeding money has to be provided, or the seed money has to be provided to the institutions, how the research activities have to grow, what kind of facilitation has to be provided, and how the monitoring has to be done. These all activities will be done by National Research Foundation. Then, as I already said, that vocational education will be integrated with the regular education or regular higher education, so that there is no disparity, because as of now it is perceived that you can say that enrollment in vocational education is very, very low, and it is considered to be third graded education which is being provided to deprived persons only who do not have any opportunity. So it will be given equal weightage through making implementation or integration of vocational education with the regular education. So skill labs will be set up, and through skill labs will be students will be trained so that they will be at par with the regular higher education. Through Lok Vidya, important vocational knowledge developed in India will be made accessible to the student through integration into vocational engineering, vocational education courses. So vocational education courses through ODL will also be explored. So all these possibilities will be explored so that vocational education can be properly integrated with the regular higher education. Internalization of education. Every university or institution will be expected to open an overseas office so that students from overseas countries can also be attracted in India, as well as students of India can pursue their education abroad. So this kind of structure will be provided. In every institution, it will be expected that there will be an international student office which will be dealing with all these kind of activities, which will be facilitating exchange of students between India and overseas countries. They will also be promoting to sign MOUs with foreign universities. So this kind of culture will be developed in the institutions. For the faculty motivation, we can say that classrooms will be there, which will be having all the ICT components equipped with the classrooms. Faculty student ratio will be improved. Flexibility for curriculum and pedagogy will be provided. Incentives and awards will be given for the excellence or the excellent performance by the faculty members. Better and transparent criteria for the faculty recruitment will be adopted. Setting of teaching education departments and institutions will also be there, like staff colleges will be developed, where the orientation programs or the vocational programs will be run for the certificate programs will be run for the uh, faculty members, and faculty members will be needed to take credit-based courses in teaching, education, and pedagogy. Through these centers which will be developed, the faculty members will be required to do some of the credit courses for refreshing their knowledge. Professional education will be in the latest areas, like the focus will be on the machine learning, big data, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, bio, nano, and neuroscience. So this kind of culture has to be promoted for the professional education, and professional education will not be separate from the general education. It will be also in coherence with the general education. Then the adult education, all these we can just leave. Online and digital education, as I said, that it will be promoted, or it may be made part of the regular education, so that the education will be proceeding in the blended mode. Promotion of Indian languages and culture, it will be that the curriculum or the learning material should be developed in multiple languages, including the regional language in which the university is located. The purpose is to impart better learning to the student, and it is supposed that the better learning can be provided in the respective regional language. So that way a culture has to be adopted in which the instructional material and learning material has to be prepared in multiple languages. Promotion of Indian languages and culture is continuing. Then equity and inclusion, that deprived persons, handicapped persons, all these should be brought at par by providing appropriate facilities to them, which will be conducive for their environment. So barrier-free accommodation, barrier-free movement, and access of the facilities should be provided equally to all segment of persons or all segment of students, whether they are belonging to SC/ST community, or they are belonging to some socio-economic category, or they are from the physically handicapped category. So this is all. These were the major features of the higher education, which have been covered in the NEP.
Thank you, sir.
So this is all which I intended to discuss today. There had been some of the disturbances at the beginning because I lost my connection, and then my laptop was hanged. So besides that, we have been able to discuss this content. Thanks to everybody for patient hearing. And if you have any point of discussion, we can discuss that.
Thanks a lot, sir, for an overwhelming session. So it was a pleasure listening to you, and thanks for enlightening us on the NEP 2020 policy and its key highlights. And obviously, it has a lot for us. Hope it will benefit the audience in the coming times. So I request the audience, in case if anyone has any query, then anybody could ask, sir. seems it there is no question, sir. So thanks a lot, sir. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you everybody, and most welcome for very patient listening. I don't know that there was nothing to be understood, but at least I am through with all the provisions of NEP 2020. So I hope that you will be implementing its provisions in your own university and institution. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay, most welcome.
Thanks everybody for to the audience. So I have shared a link for today's quiz. So in case if please check that link is working. So in case if you have any problems regarding the link, so you could tell me now, and you can go ahead with the quiz.
Anand, I can leave now?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, most welcome.
So Darpan sir is there. I think so. I have shared the link and that is working. So in case.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So Pushpa ma'am asked, so the link is obviously here in the chat box. I am re-sharing it again.
Sir, link is working.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So everyone now can attempt the quiz and can go ahead. So this is open till 6 and it will be working fine. So see you all in the next sessions by tomorrow morning. So that scale is obviously out and we'll meet tomorrow morning at 10 for the another session. Thank you. Thanks a lot for patience listening.